Trees for Yesha, the gift that keeps on growing. Planting a tree in Yesha is the perfect way to show you care. For $18 a fruit tree, you can show the Jews of Yesha that you stand together with them in these troubled times. Check out our website at treesforyesha.org.
Hi everyone, Yad Vashem's new Holocaust Museum, the Lights exhibition in the Israel Museum, a tour through Givat HaRakafot, and A Different Spirit, the documentation of 8 years of right-wing protest. Let's begin. Shalom and welcome to Israeli Salad. Israeli and world leaders jointly inaugurated Yad Vashem's new Holocaust Museum on Tuesday, March 15th. The leaders vowed to safeguard the memory of the 6 million Jewish victims of the Holocaust and to combat continuing anti-Semitism 6 decades after the Holocaust. Here's our report.
We are honored to extend our greetings to the esteemed delegations that came to join us on this event and to the esteemed personalities that came here to Israel.
For more than 50 years, the Yad Vashem Institute has been the leading organization honoring the memory of victims of the Holocaust and their life stories. Now, as the world marks 60 years since the end of World War II, Yad Vashem is renewing its institute and modernizing. Yad Vashem's new Holocaust Museum covers 4,200 square meters, and most of the structure is situated underground. The exhibits in the museum include personal belongings, documents, testimonies, diaries, letters, and works of art from the Holocaust. The goal of the museum is to present the Jewish aspect of the Holocaust. Is the involvement in the pain of the Holocaust something that contradicts strengthening belief in God? Influenced by the new museum, the chief rabbi of Russia plans on opening a Holocaust museum in his country, and he sees no contradiction.
Answers for questions of faith could be found in the synagogue and by rabbis and educators. Institutes like Yad Vashem raise these questions, and it is important that a person think about things seriously. There are many questions, and we'll never have all the complete answers. What Yad Vashem is doing is a pride to the Jewish nation.
The new museum is a concrete structure that protrudes the Yad Vashem hill on both sides. The visitors enter the structure, visit underground galleries, and then, when they reach the Hall of Names, no one can overlook the magnitude of the Holocaust. At the inauguration ceremony, our crew met Dudi Zilberschlag. Zilberschlag is a new member of the board of Yad Vashem, and he represents a change in how the Haredi, the ultra-Orthodox, are relating to the story of the Holocaust.
The ultra-Orthodox ideology has refrained from connecting the words Holocaust and heroism. It saw the Holocaust as the main point and mentioned the heroism much less. We must remember that Yad Vashem is involved in educating about the Holocaust. This is very important for generations to come, not less than other sorts of activities memorializing the Holocaust.
Please send your comments, ideas, and questions to the Israeli Salad email, yoni@israelnn.com, or leave a message on the Israeli Salad voicemail at international dialing code 972-3918-5554. That's 972-3918-5554.
Our next item is the result of cooperation between the Israel Museum and the Adi Foundation. The Adi Foundation honors the memory of Adi Bloomberg, who passed away at the age of 29 after battling an illness. Adi was an artist, and since the establishment of this foundation, much art was created in her memory. The Israel Museum is presenting an exhibition featuring paintings, photographs, installations, and designs by Israeli and international artists on the theme of light.
We worked according to a commentary of Rashi when he says that Adam and Eve wore garments of light, and only after the sin it became garments of skin.
The exhibition, entitled Lights, presents works from the final stage of the Adi competition for Jewish expression in art and design. The Adi Foundation is in honor of the memory of Adi Dermer Bloomberg, a young artist who passed away at the age of 29. The foundation was established by Adi's father, David, who founded the foundation in order to pursue Adi's ambitions.
In her last years, Adi was involved in the issue of the connection between Judaism and art and design. We decided through this foundation to express in the world of art values that are derived from religion and tradition. We're used to seeing the mitzvot as a list of positive and negative commandments. This exhibit shows how every mitzvah has its own attributes and instructions. I made it out of memorial candles. Each mitzvah has the potential to produce light.
The Lights exhibition opened with a ceremony in which the winning entry in the Adi competition was announced. The winning piece was created by veteran artist Zelig Segal. Zelig's creation consists of 18 aluminium columns, and it expresses the feeling of being able to touch and feel, but not to see.
I wrote the words, "Let there be light," in Braille writing. That way I journeyed into the darkness of the blind to express light.
The lofty concept of light that the artists had to express created a mixture of styles, methods, and approaches, and so, to enjoy the exhibition best, you must focus on each work of art individually.
הפרויקט שלנו זה לראות איך האור משפיע על האנשים כשאנחנו לוקחים אזור שכונה.
Our project was to see how light influences people. We came to neighborhoods and other places and lit up the area.
ברגע שאתה מאיר את השכונה, אז פתאום יש לך אנשים שיוצאים.
The moment we lit up a neighborhood, we saw people coming out of their houses. They were satisfied, having fun, talking. Suddenly there was communication.
This photograph was taken at a place called Karnei Hitim, Horns of Hitim. It is a metaphor for struggle, because as you see here, the soil looks very unforgiving, and yet under these rocks were blooming tiny little flowers. I feel that light in Judaism relates very much to the spiritual impetus behind most of my work. Very similar to the feelings that one gets on Shabbat. It's a space in between.
I painted this painting 2 years ago. It was the time of bleeding nights, the nights where there was gunfire towards the Jerusalem neighborhood of Gilo. It's a combination of the army and the night that could have been romantic but became horrible.
אני קורא לעבודה בית כנסת בראשית, והוא מתייחס לבריאת העולם באמצעות...
I call this piece the Bereshit Synagogue. It relates to the creation of the world with the letters that are carved in the walls of the structure. The light shines out through the letters. The letter is the source of light. This symbolizes for me the fact that the foundation of our culture, the Jewish Israeli culture, are the letters and the light. This is the base for the culture and life of our days.
וזה בסיס ליצירת תרבות וחיים בזמן של היום.
Last week we took you to enjoy Israel's nature in the middle of the tall buildings of Tel Aviv. This week we'll go a bit farther as Gilad Levi takes us to Givat HaRakafot. So sit back and enjoy.
Hi everyone, today I'm at Ramat Menashe near Afula, and I would like you to follow me and see one of the most beautiful carpets in Israel. The Cyclamen Hill, which is called in Hebrew the Givat Rakafot, is the largest and impressive blossom of this typical Israeli flower. Just watch the carpet behind me. The velvety look, the soft colors and the beautiful petals make the Rakefet, which is a very Israeli flower, one of those flowers that you gotta love. Most plant life will find it difficult to grow in this sort of habitat, but for the Rakefet, a pine grove is a perfect environment. In order not to cause damage to the nature, this path was built. It was built by the children of Gal'ed, a kibbutz nearby, as part of their bar mitzvah project. That's it for today. Until next time, bye-bye.
Be sure to visit the Israeli Salad website. On the Israeli Salad site, scroll through all the editions, see what topics were presented on each program, and simply click on the icon to watch your favorite program. Also, watch all our fantastic music videos featured right here on Israeli Salad. So be sure to click on www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm. That's www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm.
These days, when there are plans to evict Jews from their homes, many demonstrations and acts of protest are taking place. Actually, these protests have been going on since the signing of the Oslo Accords. So, do demonstrations and protests have any significant impact? Did right-wing organizations affect a change in political action? And how do the authorities in Israel deal with these protests? In his Hebrew book, Ruach Acheret, A Different Spirit, Yoni Pressburger presents his 8-year-long work of documenting the protest against giving up parts of the land of Israel. Right after the Oslo Accords were signed in 1993, Yoni Pressburger understood that the struggle against the Accords has an historical meaning. Together with his father, artist Yitzhak Pressburger, and the historian Dr. Gavriel Bar Shaked, Yoni began to document the struggle in which they also took part.
Against the TV, the radio, and the rest of the media, there was a need to present an alternative, the true story. That's what motivated us, the need to present the truth. We wanted to show the people, the housewives, the farmers, and other people who stood every week at the intersections and went to countless demonstrations. These people served as the conscience of the Jewish people and the people's hope. So we decided to document the popular struggle, not the political struggle, but the popular struggle. No official right-wing organization documented their activities, and so Yoni had to work thoroughly and systematically to create his book. From north to south, Yoni collected photographs and interviewed activists. Within the right wing, Yoni says, there isn't an awareness of the importance of documentation. If tomorrow they'll want to say, we warned you, we told you so, people will say, yeah, prove it, show us something. There'll be nothing to show. Documentation is power. It builds understanding. It's part of the national memory, and it's also an educational tool. Documentation is a tool to show what you did.
The civil protest movement created the intersection demonstrators, who would report every few days in their nearby intersection, holding signs crying out to stop the concessions.
There were headquarters in every city throughout the country. There were around 100 locations from the north down to the southern Eilat, where people demonstrated weekly at the central intersections.
Yona's book also chronicles many documented events of violence used by the police to disperse the demonstrators. This kind of attitude towards the right wing had Yona quite fearful before the book was published.
There were fears. When they understood that this project was serious, I was called in for an interrogation. It took around 2 hours. That was a few months before the book was published. This shouldn't happen in a democracy. One should not have to go through a General Security Service interrogation because he wants to put out a book, especially someone like me. I'm not an extremist or anything.
So what's the meaning of the name A Different Spirit? These words come from the story of the 12 spies, when Joshua and Caleb stood strong against the spies who spread an evil report about the land of Israel.
It says, "But my servant Caleb, because he had a different spirit with him, and has followed me completely, I will bring him to the land which he came, and his seed shall possess it." The different spirit presents the part of the nation that stays faithful, stays with a vision, and believes that we could possess the land. The part of the nation that doesn't give up.
These days, when the demonstrations and protests are back on the street, many ask themselves, did it do anything? Does it actually have an impact on the struggle? Or does the present situation prove that demonstrations don't accomplish anything?
In the book, it's proven that the struggle helped. Without the struggle that took place, today we'd be in a totally different situation. The communities in Judea and Samaria would not even exist today. It could be that we'll lose this time. But our obligation is to protest and to do whatever we can to prevent the destruction.
Yona Pressburger told us that they're working on an English version of the book and that they're still looking for financial support for the project. Okay, now here's how you could reach those who appeared on this week's program. Yad Vashem website is www.yadvashem.org. The site of the Adi Foundation is www.adifoundation.co.il. And you could reach Yona Pressburger at yonap@013.net.il. Rabbi Samson will not be with us this week. He'll be back next week with another Torah Insight. Okay, that's all for this week. Join us again next week for another program. Until then, from all of us here at Israel National News, Shalom.
Jewish Response to Missionaries. This is a powerful, new, and complete 18-part digitally remastered CD series or 24-part cassette series with 423 new pages, plus an in-depth study guide by Rabbi Tovia Singer, a must-have for any library collection. This outstanding commentary is available now for only $99 plus shipping and handling. Order online now at www.outreachjudaism.org or call toll-free 1-800-315-JEWS. That's 1-800-315-JEWS. JEWS.